So we are now into the late May portion of the season, as you can see on the calendar, and we have suffered another injury to our pitching staff as Colby Allard, who was called up to replace one of the other injuries, is out for 1 to 2 months with a fractured hand. So we're going to be calling up another pitcher from AAA, another lefty in Joe Palumbo, the 25-year-old lefty from New York. He made 7 appearances in 2019 with the Rangers, 4 starts, and he's probably going to make in a few more of them here in 2020, so we'll see how things go with him on the hill. We will not be seeing Josh Young anytime soon either, because he is also hurt. I was planning on calling him up pretty soon, and he decided to go and get hurt on me. He broke his hand, and he is out 2 to 3 months, so we will not be seeing him, if at all, this season, until later on, probably past the trade deadline once some spots open up if our team continues to struggle and we are going to be able to open up spots around the roster. But since Young did get hurt, that did allow us to call up somebody else, and that somebody else is Daniel Robertson. So he was called up, very good plate discipline and very good fielding, can play some infield, can play some corner outfield, and he's now on the big league roster. Also, Daniel Palka called up to get some ABs at first base, as Guzman has been struggling, while Daniel Palka was absolutely on fire in AAA, the power hitting. We converted him to first base, but he can also play some corner outfield. Daddy ever plays there for us, but he does have the ability to play there if needed. While Mark Payton and Rougned Odor were both sent down to AAA, and they're going to be in Nashville for a bit. The Rangers travel out east to take on the Baltimore Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. They're going to be sending out the young right-hander Cole Stewart for the 11th time this season, not gotten off to the greatest of 2021 campaigns. And in the top half of first inning with 2 outs, Big Willie Calhoun gets plunked on the back by the breaking ball, so he'll take his base, and then Joey Gallo comes to the dish, and he's sending this one towards the B&O warehouse over in right field. Way out of here. Joey Gallo 2-run blast, and the Rangers are up 2-0 immediately in this game. Move things on top of the second. Daniel Palka at the dish. He chops one through the right side of the infield. They always say Daniel Palka, hitter of singles. So he's on first base. Nick Solak then comes up, grounds one down the third base line. It's going to be turned into a just 1 out as the throw over to first base is over the head of the first baseman and into foul territory. So Solak's on second. Then Albert Almora Jr. is plunked, so it's first and second with 2 outs as Daniel Robertson is going to bloop one into shallow center field. Run is going to score from second base as it's now a 3-0 lead for the Rangers. Brings up Yoenis Cespedes, who goes down the left field line. This one gets through the infield. That'll drive in a run as well, and it's now a 4-0 lead for the Rangers. The inning would come to an end, though, as Big Willie would come up to the plate and hit a high arcing fly ball, but it's going to die at the track. So the score remains 4-0, and there's Joe Palumbo, the lefty from New York, the 25-year-old making his first start of the 2021 season. And here in the bottom half of the second inning, it's going to be Austin Hayes getting a shallow center field bloop hit to lead, or with 1 out, so he's on first base. He would then proceed to try to steal second base, but Sam Huff says nah, waving the Matumbo finger at him, guns him down for the 2nd out, and then Palumbo would finish the at-bat against Zach Green by striking him out. So 4-0 remains the score, bottom of the 3rd now, as Palumbo gets the fastball by Rio Ruiz to get through that inning scoreless. How about the bottom half of the 4th? It's Trey Mancini, chopper over to second base. Solak makes the play. Now we're on to the 5th inning. Top of the 5th, Rangers bats, Daniel Robertson whiffing through a low pitch. He is going to be hurting himself on the play, so he would have to come out. Elvis Andrews comes on to play shortstop from here on out. Nothing else would happen in that inning, though, so we move on to the bottom of the 5th, where Zach Green gets the Orioles on the board. The former Giants farmhand picked up by the Orioles in the Rule 5 draft this previous offseason, and he's showing up here with a blast to left field. So it's a 4-1 game. We move things on to the bottom of the 6th and call Joe Palumbo Mr. Double Play as he gets one there to end the inning. Then in the 7th inning, he would get another one, 6-4-3, end the inning. How about in the bottom of the 8th, Zach Green at the dish? He's not going Yabo this time. He's grounding into a 4-6-3 double play. Not to end the inning, but still a double play nonetheless. And then Palumbo was on for the 9th. Gets some help by Polka's defense over at first base as he makes the leaping grab, as Joe Palumbo picks up a complete game in his first appearance of 2021 with the big league club as they beat the Baltimore Orioles by a score of 4-1 in this ballgame. Of course, Joe Palumbo, the lefty, gets player of the game honors. Complete game, only allowed 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and no walks for the New York-born lefty, while Cole Stewart gets the loss for the Orioles. And now it's time to go over what happened in the 2021 first-year player draft. We had the 15th overall pick this year because we had that little bit of a winning streak towards the end of last season, so we don't get too high of a pick. We're outside of the blue chips area of the draft, but we do have a decent pick nonetheless. And with that pick, we decided to take a right-handed pitcher, 21-year-old out of Venezuela, in Alberto Gonzalez. Then in the 2nd round, we took a closer, right-handed closer out of New Hampshire, 19-year-old Mark Yeager, it's probably Yeager, Mark Yeager. And then Lloyd Lavallo, a 19-year-old right-handed starter out of Connecticut. We're just hammering that New England area of the country. And then Robert Saul was our 4th-round pick, a 22-year-old right-handed reliever out of Canada. Damon Golson was our 5th-round pick, a 19-year-old outfielder, another Venezuelan-born. And then Robinson Sparks, the 22-year-old left-hander reliever in the 6th round. And in New York, baby, you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. Let's go Mets, baby. And as always, the reason why I'm not showing you these guys' overalls right now is because some of these guys are going to end up getting prospect profiles. The rest of them will end up being shown in minor league update videos. That's the whole point of those videos. If I showed you the overalls now, it would defeat the purpose of those videos. So that's why I don't show the overalls and the potentials right now. And we also have a few things to go over before we show the next game, as we have made a few roster moves. First one being Leody Taveras has been called up straight from Double-A. He was in Double-A to start the year with a 929 OPS through 229 ABs with Double-A Frisco, so he's already on the 40-man roster, so I figured we'd give him another shot with the big league club. He got 90 ABs last year. Didn't really get too much of an opportunity to prove himself, but he's going to be up on the big league team and probably get a lot of ABs this year, as assuming nothing goes wrong with injuries or he's just not like flat out awful. And Taveras will be wearing the number 3 instead of the number 78, which is the same number that his cousin wore for a good portion of his career, Willie Taveras, former base-stealing threat with the Astros, Rockies. I think he played with the Reds for a bit, too. We also called up Hunter Cole, who he was hitting quite well in AAA. We saw him towards the end of last season when we went on that run towards the end of the year. Forgot to show it in the recording, but Daniel Robertson actually ended up on the 60-day IL because of that injury he suffered in the previous game against the Orioles. Literally 2 at-bats in the major leagues this season, and he decides to go, and I think he tore his shoulder or something like that. I forget what it is, but he's on the 60-day IL. He'll be back later on in the season, but definitely not exactly a good start for him. 2 ABs down with an injury, and because Elvis Andrus and Didi Gregorius have not been good for us this season, I just said, hey, screw it. Bryce Terang is now playing shortstop in the big leagues. He's gotten off to a solid start through 63 ABs. Obviously not a big sample size, but still through 63 ABs, he has been hitting quite well for us at the shortstop position. So that's our future right there at shortstop. He's up with the big league club now. It's also worth mentioning that Nick Solak has really been turning things around as well. He has an 801 OPS. He got off to a rough start, but he's been turning things around at a rapid pace right now. He's been hitting the leadoff spot because I've just been shuffling the lineup constantly. And once I put him in the leadoff spot, because I saw he was on fire, he's just been continuing to be on fire. So Nick Solak still hitting very well in that leadoff spot, while Sam Huff has started figuring out the big league pitching as well, as he's currently on a hot streak. definitely good to see, as he is our long-term option at catcher, hopefully. And now the Rangers are out west to take on the Los Angeles Angels at the Angels Stadium of Anaheim in an AL West matchup. Griffin Canning wearing the throwback Angels unis, making his 16th start of the season, having a great 2021 season. And in the top half of the first inning, in a white-on-white jersey matchup, he walks Bryce Terang, and he's on first base, as then Cespedes hits one at the center field, and Terang shows off the speed going from first to third. So runners on the corners with one out for Sam Huff. Hits a high fly ball to left field, but it's going to be caught right in front of the track, as that's going to be enough to tag up Terang, though, as it's a 1-0 lead for the Texas Rangers. Kyle Cody just pounded some monsters in the dugout beforehand, and he's ready to go. 15th start of the season, let's get it. So Kyle Cody giving up a single here into the left center field to Andrelton Simmons, and next batter up is Mike Trout with one out, and he would proceed to ground into an inning-ending 5-4-3 around the horn double play. Score is still 1-0. Bottom of the third now. Jason Castro gets a high fastball, and he's tying this game up with one swing at the bat. A solo shot makes it a 1-1 ball game, and then Sam Huff says, "Hey, I'm a catcher. I can hit home runs too," and he comes up the next inning and just powers one to way out of here in center field. Much deeper part of the ballpark. Another solo shot. It's now a 2-1 lead for the Texas Rangers. Move things on to the fourth inning. Andrelton Simmons getting punched out on the up-and-in fastball. Next batter up, Mike Trout, whiffing through the curveball, so 2 down just like that in the inning. Next batter up is Anthony Rendon. He's going to hit one down the left field line. Cespedes going into that corner that he made a very famous play in, and he's going to show off the arm yet again in that left field corner as he guns down Rendon, trying to steal second base, or trying to advance to second, stretch it into a double, I should say. And then Cody on in the bottom of the sixth, walks Hermosillo. And then he would try to steal second base, but Huff once again throwing out base runners, guns him down at second, 2 down in the inning, and then the at-bat against Brantley was finished off as the curveball gets him the lockup, and Kyle Cody has the lead in hand still. Jose Leclerc on for the bottom of the 8th inning, as he would proceed to strike out Jamani Jones for the 3rd out of that inning. So a scoreless 8th worked by Leclerc. Brett Martin on for the 9th. He comes on and he also works a scoreless 9th, strikes out Andrelton Simmons to end the ball game, as the Texas Rangers have beaten the team atop the AL West currently, the Los Angeles Angels, by a score of 2-1 here in Anaheim. Somebody get him some Slim Jims, as Kyle Cody picks up Player of the Game honors. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, and 1 walk allowed on the day by the big right-hander. Sam Huff had a home run on the day for the Rangers, while Jason Castro's home run was the only run of the day for the Los Angeles Angels, as Griffin Canning gets a rare loss this season, as he's had a great year for the Angels, while Brett Martin picks up the save. And we're just cruising along through the month of June, as we're now into the later portions of June, as we are about to play the Miami Marlins. But before we do that, we have a few more things to go over. The first one being that the Rangers have been playing much better as of recently than they did early on in the season. Once we started getting rid of some of these guys, putting them down in AAA who were struggling, or just guys like Didi who are currently on the bench, and Willie Calhoun, things have started turning around a bit for us, as we have these guys who maybe aren't the best overalls, but they are hitting well for whatever reason, and hitting better than the guys who are just rated better than them. And because of that, the Rangers are up to 3rd place in the AL West right now. It's still not an impressive record, but up to 3rd place in the AL West, still not likely to be a wild card team. I would definitely still be selling if the trade deadline was right now. And I fully expect to be selling at the trade deadline. It's just interesting to see that some of the things that I've been doing with the roster recently is starting to work for us a bit. And like I mentioned, Willie Calhoun has been very disappointing this season. A 639 OPS is just totally unacceptable for anybody, let alone somebody who is supposed to be your full-time DH. Definitely not good there, considering his one job is to hit. Danny Santana also has not been great for us, also 600s OPS, and Didi Gregorius, like I mentioned, also not hitting. All these guys are now currently bench players because it's just not worth playing them when there are guys who are performing better than them that can play those positions. And then Bryce Terang, who has been having some rookie struggles recently. I am sticking with him, though, at the shortstop. I'm not going to take him off that position and put him on the bench or call him or send him down. If I did do something, I would send him down, because I don't want him just getting no ABs. We want him to still get plenty of time and develop. This team is all about the young guys, getting them chances, and getting these guys developed to where we need them to be. And then Elvis Andrus, he is also having a very bad season. He's probably going to find himself getting DFA'd soon, probably as early as even like next episode, to be honest. And then with all these roster changes, this is what our current lineups against both right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching is looking like at the moment. Lots of changes on both of these ones, a whole bunch of different names you guys haven't seen so far this season, or guys who did well last year, or just whatever it may be. Just a bunch of different names all spread throughout those. And you'll probably notice that both Guzman and Gallo got sent down to AAA. Very small sample sizes, but Guzman immediately hitting in AAA, which is a good sign to see. While Gallo gotten off to a bit of a slow start. I think he has 37 ABs, which is also, like I said, very small sample size, but not exactly the best start. He is getting on base at, like, a better rate than he was in the big leagues, but I mean, still, once again, small sample size, but also he hasn't gotten off to the best start, so we'll have to see if he can turn that thing around. If he can't, that's not exactly faring well for Joey Gallo's future as a Ranger if he can't even hit AAA pitching. And now get ready for some interleague action as the Rangers are taking on the first place Miami Marlins at Marlins Park. You heard me right, and a big part of that has been Sandy Alcantara, who is having a great season on the hill for the Marlins, but not so great start to this game as Nick Solak hits the ball to right field. The right fielder gives it a dive, and it's going to get past him. Solak has some fleet feet, and he gets them into third base with a leadoff triple in this game. So he's on third, and then Michael Brosseau says, "No big deal, buddy, I'm going to drive you home." And this one's over the left field fence. A two-run shot off the bat of Brosseau, the former Ray, picked up last season in the Todd Frazier trade, makes it a 2-0 game. And then Charlie Morton on the hill having a great season with the Rangers. Definitely much better than he was in those early starts, as Bryce Terang makes the diving play there to get Jesus Aguilar out, but he also would come up injured on the play. Fortunately, was just out for the rest of the game. He did not end up having to go on the IL, but Didi would finish the game out at shortstop. So bottom of the second inning now, chopper over to second base. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa botches it, and it's going to be a runner on first now as Jorge Alfaro lines out the shortstop. That's one down. Catches it on a line, and then Isan Diaz grounds into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Move things on bottom of the fourth now. It's Brian Anderson going down on the splitter for strike number 3, out number 2. And then Jonathan Villar, who's having a great season, but not right there as he strikes out on the breaking ball. We move things on to the top of the fifth inning. Hunter Cole playing first base on the day, rips one through the left side of the infield for a leadoff base knock. And then Didi Gregorius getting the bat together. It is about damn time. A 2-run shot for Didi. Sir Didi. Bunch of emojis going right now. 2-run shot. It's a 4-0 lead for the Texas Rangers, and they were not done in this inning. Nick Solak comes to the dish. He's going left center field, and he's got the triple and the home run now in this game as he extends the lead to 5-0. The Marlins would finally get on the board on this Christian Lopes single in the left field that drives in a run from third base. So it's a 5-1 ball game. Top of the 7th, Teddy Stank on the hill for the Marlins, and Nick Solak going down the left field line, and now he's got the double. All he needs is a single for this cycle, as he has all the hard ones out of the way, and we move things on to the top of the 9th. Jeremy Jefferson for the Marlins. Danny Santana on as a pinch hitter. So he's leading off the inning. He's going to pull one right center field. That's going to get down into the gap, and Santana's got some decent speed as he's not stopping at second base, hustling his way into third. It's a leadoff triple for Danny Santana off the pinch hit, and then Nick Solak, this one right center field, muscled out there. The dive, not caught. Solak easily could get the third on that, but he says, no, I'm staying right here at first. Drives in the run, and he gets the cycle. A triple, home run double, and first base single, all in that order. So a 6-1 ball game, 2 outs now, Solak still on first, Sam Huff is at the dish, he draws himself a walk, and then Leody Taveras, he's going to the same part of the ballpark that Solak and Santana went to, and this one is going to be also a triple, a bases clearing triple. It is now an 8-1 score, as Trevor Hildenberger came on in a non-save situation, and he strikes at the final batter of the game as the Texas Rangers have topped the NL East, leading Miami Marlins by a score of 8-1 in Miami. Nick Solak picks up 4 hits on the day, the home run, triple, double, and single. He hits for the cycle, obviously player of the game honors. Charlie Morton gets the win in 5 innings strong of work. 5 strikeouts on the day, while Sandy Alcantara gives up 5 through 5, and just not a characteristically good start for him that he had this season, because he has been having a very good season with the Marlins. Like I said, a big reason why that team has been so good this year, but they were bested by the Rangers, who I did say have been streaking as of recently. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Texas Rangers franchise. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I am saying, let's go NC Dinos!